Well, another one bites the dust. She's asking for an open marriage, and this time the husband agrees, and she's not happy. Classic case, guys. She's either looking for a man to be with, she's already seeing someone. It's just never going to work out. You got a divorce right then and there. I will not say go ahead and go with the open marriage because she can turn things on you and make it look like you were cheating in the marriage. And who knows what type of judge you'll get. She takes everything, but you guys can take a listen to this story and see how it turned out. Subject: my wife asked for an open marriage but couldn't handle what came next. Hey, true story. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing with your channel. The stories you share, they're raw, honest, and sometimes painful, but it helps to hear them. My cousin actually introduced me to your videos. He knew I had just finalized my divorce and recommended one particular video, the one where a wife asked for an open marriage, got dumped by her affair partner, and then tried to crawl back when her husband started enjoying life without her. That story hit me like a freight train. I damn near thought you were talking about me, so I figured, why not share my version? If it helps even one guy out there realize he's not crazy for walking away, then it's worth it. My name's Harvey, and this is how I got the divorce I didn't want, but absolutely needed. I met Tatiana in 2015 at a birthday weekend in Miami. It was one of those big group trips, guys and girls from all over. We were staying in a huge Airbnb. I wasn't really expecting to meet anyone serious, just wanted a break from the grind. I was 28 at the time, working in logistics and operations, had just started moving up the ranks. She was 25, a nurse based in Atlanta. Tatiana had this calm, elegant energy to her. She wasn't loud or flashy like the other women on the trip. She carried herself in a composed, mature way that really stood out. We ended up talking during a beach bonfire one night and just clicked. After the trip, we stayed in contact. I started making weekend trips to Atlanta, and before long, we were full on dating. By 2017, we got married. The wedding was beautiful, small, elegant, everything she dreamed of. I thought I hit the jackpot. She was supportive, smart, nurturing, or at least that's how it seemed at the time. Our early years of marriage were solid. We traveled, bought a house just outside of Atlanta, and started talking about kids. We even went through fertility tests when things didn't happen naturally after a while. It felt like we were building something real. I worked long hours, but I was always home when it mattered. I showed up. Then, around late 2020, I started noticing small shifts. She was distant. Her phone was always in her hand. She'd stay up late claiming she couldn't sleep. Started going out with her girlfriends more, new friends I never met. I asked questions, got vague answers. She brushed off my concerns, told me I was being paranoid. Then one random Tuesday night in 2021, she sat me down on the edge of the bed and hit me with it. I think we should consider an open marriage, just for a while. No warning, no buildup, just like that. I stared at her thinking it was a joke, but she was serious. Said she'd been reading about relationship structures, that monogamy felt restrictive, and that she wanted to explore other connections while still preserving what we had. My first question was, is there someone else? She denied it, said this wasn't about anyone specific, just something she'd been thinking about, that it was about growth. That phrase, growth, got thrown around a lot in the coming months. I was blindsided. I didn't yell or argue. I just told her I needed time to process it. But in my gut, I already knew. Nobody suggests an open marriage out of the blue unless they've got someone in mind or already in rotation. I started paying more attention. I checked her iPad, which was still synced to her iMessages. That's when I saw it. Conversations with men, not one, not two, multiple. One guy she met through a Reddit forum, another from a local art exhibit she attended without me, another she was talking to on an app I'd never heard of. whisper. She'd created burner accounts, sexting, late night flirting, all while pretending nothing was going on. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I told her, "You want an open marriage? Fine, let's try it." I knew right then I was never going back to who I was before. I wasn't agreeing to fix us. I was agreeing to end us on my terms. If she was going to play that game, then I'd learn how to play it better. In the beginning, she thought I was bluffing. But within weeks, I had women hitting me up. It's funny, when you're married and loyal, women ignore you. But once you're in open territory, it's like a magnet gets turned on. I didn't even try that hard. First, there was Leah, a gym instructor I'd been talking to casually for months. Once she heard I was in an open marriage, things escalated quickly. Then there was Camille, a single mom I met on Bumble, who was upfront about just wanting fun, no commitment. And then Serena, an old friend from college who had always flirted with me and saw her opportunity. Meanwhile, Tatiana had one guy she zeroed in on, some 24-year-old bartender named Dorian. He had tattoos, played guitar, and lived with his mom. He was her adventure, her escape from routine. At first, she was giddy, kept talking about how free she felt, but I wasn't paying attention to her anymore. I was doing me, working out, traveling solo, booking business trips, and extending them just for fun. I posted more on social media and started getting attention I hadn't seen in years. Then the shift happened. It was about 2 months in. Tatiana started asking questions. "Where were you last night? You didn't text me all day. Who's that texting you at 11 p.m.? I reminded her, "We're in an open marriage, remember? This is what you wanted." She didn't like that. Then came the jealousy. She saw pictures of me at a dinner with Serena, asked if I was developing emotional connections. I said possibly. That's when she started unraveling. Turns out Dorian had ghosted her. After about 6 weeks of sleeping with her, he stopped replying. Told her he wasn't looking for anything serious. Blocked her on everything. Suddenly her freedom didn't feel so empowering anymore. She asked to talk, said she wanted to revisit the boundaries, said she was struggling. I told her flat out, "I'm not interested in going back. This is where we are now. I'm just getting started." She cried that night. 2 weeks later, she sat me down again and said she wanted to close the marriage. "I miss us," she said. "This didn't turn out the way I thought it would." I asked her, "So you want me to stop seeing other women because you lost yours?" She paused, then said, "That's not fair." I pulled out a manila envelope. Inside were the divorce papers. "I've been ready. I was just waiting for you to realize this is over." Her face went pale. "Harvey, wait. Please don't do this." But I was already done. The legal process wasn't easy. Her lawyer tried to claim I coerced her into the open marriage and weaponized it. My lawyer, shout out to Brian, a beast, shut that down fast. I had the screenshots, the text logs, the audio recording of her suggesting the open marriage. I was meticulous. They tried to paint me as unstable, claimed I was using women and lashing out, but the judge wasn't buying it. We had no kids. The house was jointly owned, but I had documentation that I paid 80% of the down payment and most of the renovations. Tatiana started playing the pity card, said she was emotionally manipulated, said she didn't know what she was getting into. Even her own lawyer looked annoyed half the time. I kept everything factual. No emotion in the room, no yelling, just legal business. During one mediation session, she broke down and cried. "I never thought it would get this far," she sobbed. "I just wanted to feel alive again." I said nothing. Let me tell you a true story. Nothing feels colder than looking at the woman you once thought was your forever while she begs for a second chance and feeling absolutely nothing. That's when I knew I made the right call. Fast forward to now. Divorce finalized. I kept the house.
She got a small buyout and moved into a condo on the other side of town. I haven't spoken to her in months, except for the random texts she still sends from time to time. Just wanted to say hi. Thinking about you. This weekend would have been our anniversary. I don't reply because I'm happy now, genuinely. I'm not rushing into anything serious. I'm working out more, spending more time with my nephews, traveling. I've rebuilt my peace, and I guard it with everything I've got. If I could say anything to the guys watching your channel, it's this. Don't fight for someone who's already left you in spirit. If she wants the door open, let her walk through it. But don't just sit there watching. Walk through your own door too. Heal, grow, rebuild. And don't be afraid to let her live with the consequences of the game she started. Because sometimes the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's living so well that she doesn't even recognize the man who once waited on her to come home. Thanks for reading, man. If this makes it on your channel, I hope it resonates with someone out there. Stay strong, brothers. Harvey, hey, true story. I hope you're doing well. I'm not sure if you plan on reading my last email on your channel, but if you do, I'd really appreciate it if you could add this follow-up to it. I wasn't planning to write again, but lately, I've been reflecting on everything I've been through. And more importantly, everything I've become. Because, man, I've leveled up. If that first email was about how I lost my marriage, this one's about how I found myself again. Let's pick up where I left off. The divorce was finalized, and I was officially a free man. Free, but not healed. See, when you're in survival mode for so long, mentally prepping for betrayal, sleeping with one eye open, checking devices, second-guessing smiles, you don't realize how deeply all of that affects you. It's like your soul's been limping, even though your body's walking fine. I remember waking up the first weekend after the divorce was finalized. No hearing, no paperwork, no need to mentally rehearse any confrontation. I sat on the edge of my bed, and for the first time in years, I didn't have anxiety in my chest. It was silent, but not the bad kind of silence. It was peace. I made a promise to myself that morning. I wasn't going to just move on. I was going to level up, and that's exactly what I did. Physical health, reclaiming the body. She let go. Let's start with the physical side. During my marriage, I was in a weird spot. I wasn't out of shape, but I was what I call comfortably padded. You know, work dinners, stress eating, beer on the weekends, late night snacks because you're emotionally checked out. But when everything hit the fan, I started working out hard. At first, it was just to distract myself. Then it became therapy. Then it became identity. I got a personal trainer twice a week, and I went from a soft 198 pounds down to a lean, chiseled 182. My old clothes don't fit anymore in the best way. I bought new suits that hug my shoulders right. I see the way people look at me now when I walk into rooms. My posture changed. My confidence changed. Even my barber told me, "You're carrying yourself different now, bro." Damn right I am. Financial growth, peace over panic. When I was married to Tatiana, I handled 80% of the bills. I paid the mortgage, covered most of the travel, funded her little side hobbies. I didn't mind at the time. I thought that's what being a good husband meant. But when you're divorced and financially solo, you start looking at your money through a whole new lens. I sat down and completely overhauled my budget, cut out dead subscriptions, built an emergency fund, invested in index funds and real estate crowdfunding, started a side hustle consulting for small logistics companies. That little side hustle now makes me an extra $1,800 a month, and climbing. I paid off my car, got ahead on mortgage payments. My credit score jumped from 718 to 785. I check my net worth monthly now, and it brings a kind of joy that no date night ever did. And here's the wild part. I'm making more, spending less, and enjoying life more than I ever did when I was securely married. Mental health healing without her. Let me be real. Therapy saved me. After the divorce, I signed up for weekly therapy sessions. I wanted to understand why I tolerated so much, why I ignored the red flags, and why her betrayal hit me so hard. It turns out I was addicted to potential. I saw who Tatiana could be instead of accepting who she really was. Week by week, I unpacked the lies I told myself to make my marriage feel worth fighting for. I dug into childhood stuff I had buried. I learned how to stop rescuing people who were never drowning, just swimming in someone else's pool. I now meditate every morning for 10 minutes. I read at least 2 books a month. I take long walks without my phone. Peace is my priority now. If it costs my peace, it's too expensive. Simple as that. Social circle, brotherhood over breakdown. After the divorce, some people distanced themselves. It was like they didn't know how to treat me as a single man again. Married friends stopped inviting me to couples' nights. Some folks chose sides quietly. I lost a few people I thought were, forever. But then something amazing happened. I found my real tribe. I reconnected with old college friends, joined a local men's group that meets twice a month to talk about business, growth, and life. Started going to entrepreneur meetups and conferences. I built a brotherhood of high-value men who weren't chasing chaos. They were building futures. We hold each other accountable. We share wins and losses. We hit the gym together, go on weekend trips, and don't BS each other. And now, when I look around at my circle, I don't see married or single. I see solid men who want to be better. Women, clarity over chaos. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I had a phase, I'm not gonna lie. After the divorce, and especially after what Tatiana pulled, I definitely went through what some people call a hoe phase. Except for me, it wasn't reckless. It was controlled, intentional. I dated a lot. There was Jasmine, a yoga instructor who lit candles every time we hung out. Beautiful soul, but too spiritual for me. Then there was Erica, an attorney who was fun as hell but worked 70 hours a week. Then there was Bree, a nurse who, ironically, reminded me too much of my ex, so I cut it off quick. Eventually, I realized I wasn't looking for someone to fill a void. I was just enjoying the freedom. But even in that freedom, I kept my standards high. No drama, no broken women I needed to fix. If a woman came with red flags, I left before the first drink was finished. Now I'm seeing someone casually, Maya. She's chill, independent, doesn't blow up my phone, and respects my time. I don't know where it's headed, but for now, it's solid. No pressure, just peace. Tatiana, the unexpected encounter. Now, let me tell you what you probably came here for. About 3 months ago, I ran into Tatiana. I was at Whole Foods of all places, getting some stuff for a weekend grill. I heard someone say my name. I turned around and there she was. She looked different. Not bad, just tired. There was a kind of weight behind her smile. She said hi. I nodded. She asked how I'd been. I said, doing well. Then she said, you look really good, and I thanked her. There was a pause. Then she said, I miss us sometimes. I looked her in the eye and said, I don't. She blinked. I could see the sting, but I wasn't trying to be cruel. I was just being honest. She asked if we could grab coffee sometime. I said I was seeing someone and that I didn't think that was a good idea. And just like that, it was over. Again. But this time, I walked away first. Final thoughts from Burn to Reborn. If you're a man watching True Story and you're going through heartbreak, divorce, betrayal, let me say this. You are not broken. You are not disposable. You are not weak for feeling pain, but you are responsible for your healing. The day my ex-wife suggested an open marriage, I thought it was the death of us. What I didn't realize at the time was that it was the birth of me. Now I'm no longer a man waiting to be chosen. I'm a man who chooses himself every day, every time. So, true story. If my follow up can be added to the first one, I hope it shows the full arc. I didn't just survive my divorce, I transformed because of it. Thank you again for the platform. Your channel helped me when I was in the pit. Hopefully, this email helps someone else climb out of theirs. Much respect, Harvey.